Hello everybody and welcome to the table. Today we are showing off a brand new knife from OKNIFE/Olight. This one right here is the Rubato 3, and this is a new variant of the knife. It is not a new model, but this particular version is new to market, and this is their more budget version of the Rubato 3. So we can see right here by some of the features compared to the original, it's going to come in at a slightly lower price point. But this particular knife runs on that crossbar lock / axis lock action. The knives all run on bearings, and as far as I am aware, all of the O knives are made for Olight by Kizer. So if you've ever held a quality Kizer knife in hand, you know what you're getting here. This is a very well made, very solid knife. And so we do have some specs here because, of course, we had some cost-cutting measures on this particular knife compared to the original release of it, but it's still a very effective blade overall. So you can see the handles here. These are stainless steel handles compared to the aluminum on the original, so just smooth steel. So that may be a preference for some compared to aluminum. It might show wear and tear a lot better, but that's one of the cheaper options on this model. And of course on the blade itself, now the blade shape is identical, but our steel is a different blade steel. If you look right there on the blade, you'll see this is a 10CR15CO MOV. So that's a whole mouthful of steel right there. So don't ask me how that performs, because the original model of this knife came with 154 cm, and that might be a steel that we're a lot more familiar with. So I would imagine this 10CR steel is going to perform similar to like an 8CR or 9CR13 MOV. And again, that steel cocktail just has a slightly different name to it, but what that does is it reduces the cost of the knife, because the retail prices of these knives, our original comes in around the $90 mark, this one comes in around the $49.99 mark. And so on sale, it will be significantly cheaper as well if you wait till Olight runs their sales. It might be more like a $35, $40 knife, just depending on when you get it. But in terms of features, a very nice crossbar action style lock and blade and knife. We do have a nice deep carry pocket clip, and you can see it's fully flush with the handle, reversible for left or right hand side carry. And so these smooth scales, this is going to go in and out of pocket, no problem. It's going to carry nice and deep if that is your thing. We do have a bit of a billboard on the pocket clip with the OKNIFE logo. Not really a downside. But in terms of billboarding on this one, show side of the blade, of course, is very minimal, which I like. Whereas the reverse side, just like any other O knife, we have the model name and serial number there. So Rubato 3. Again, fit and finish is excellent. We can see no blade play, no up and down. Centering is excellent. Let's check out the weight. And so we'll do a comparison with the weight of this knife versus the original, because there is going to be definitely a weight difference with steel versus aluminum handles. So the Rubato 3 steel version, this weighs in at 3.6 ounces. Is that too heavy? I don't think so, but it's good to know just for your own purposes. Whereas I do have the original aluminum Rubato 3 right here. Let's do a quick weight comparison. Hand feel, this is definitely lighter. And we can see this is less than 3 ounces, so 2.95 ounces. So there's certainly going to be a difference in the weight between these two otherwise near identical knives. So let's make those comparisons side by side. You can see, of course, the aluminum handles on the original variant here have kind of this like golf ball dimple texture to it, which feels good. It looks good. So it has that nice visual appeal compared to the flat steel, but that does cost more to machine, to color, things like that. Again, blades, we can see side by side, just difference in where the logos are. Blade steel, of course, 154 cm, and then this one has that 10CR steel. Personally, I do like the stonewash on the cheaper blade better. I'm a fan of stonewash compared to coated blades, but the original model, I believe, is only available with this coated blade. But let's just lay them out side by side, and you can see. I also kind of prefer the blacked out pocket clip because it doesn't have the big logo on there, so there's that difference as well. But the action is equally amazing on both of these knives. Side by side, blindfolded, you wouldn't really be able to tell a difference with how the knife actuates and actually functions. So side by side, very comparable to one another, from handle shape, blade shape. I'm sure if I wanted to, I could probably interchange parts with these two knives, no problem. And again, these knives should have both been OEM'd, made by Kizer for OKNIFE to begin with. So very nice comparisons here. Let's go ahead and check out the length of this model, because this is a smaller knife. In pictures, it can look bigger than it actually is, but this is not a huge knife by any means. You can see our sharpened edge right there is about 2 3/4 inches. Overall length is coming in just shy of 7 inches in overall length. So this is on the smaller side of a folding pocket knife. So not quite a 3-inch blade there. But again, action, incredible. Thumb stud opener, dual thumb studs, so no flipper tab here. Doesn't really need it. You can use the thumb studs, you can use the crossbar lock to actuate it. Action is just drop shut because it runs on bearings, just like you would expect it to be. So very nicely done. But we have to make some comparisons because, of course, there are some other knives of similar size that you might think of when you see the axis lock mechanism. So one of those being the Benchmade Mini Griptilian. So these are actually quite comparable in terms of size. So let's just put them next to each other here on the table, give you an idea of what you're working with. So if OKNIFE was looking to emulate the size of the mini grip, they nailed it. So you can see in terms of length, they are pretty darn close. Now, of course, the mini grip is going to be a lot lighter because of the polymer handles. But beyond that, the action on the mini grip, it's good. Now, this one doesn't run on bearings, but again, pretty darn nice as well. So very comparable in terms of action and size. Now, your brand new mini grip out of the box might have to be broken in before it's nice and smooth, whereas the Rubato 3 out of the box, boom, perfect. But we also want to make a comparison to probably one of the most popular Benchmades on the market currently. Of course, this is the Benchmade Bugout. So very lightweight axis lock folder. So very popular, very popular with modders and stuff like that who change out the scales, pocket clips. Like I have a traditional pocket clip on here. But again, for size comparison's sake, you can kind of see where it hangs. And so the Benchmade's a little bit longer in length, but everything else is lighter on this plastic handled knife. But I thought it made for some good size comparisons, so hopefully that was enlightening. But of course the Rubato 3 comes with the little pouch. This is one of the traditional pouches that OKNIFE has been producing, and there is no coin with this knife. So if you are a collector and you love those little Olight style coins they like to give out, no coin with this knife, but we did get a little patch. So our OKNIFE patch right here was in the little pocket here inside the pouch where the coin normally rests. So there was a little patch in there. But this is great for storage. So hope this was interesting to you. If you have any questions about the Rubato 3 revised, drop a comment below. Hope to hear from you soon, and have a nice day. See you later.